Gentlemen, how are we? Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, welcome to the Leg Up Australia podcast. New intro.
Oh, the boys on the new intro. How good are the pots and pans? You just whipped that up for us, mate.
Yeah, mate, I had a bit of time this afternoon. Thought I'd just whack that together. Now, a good friend of ours put that together. We're very happy with it. What are your thoughts, BJ? You're staring at me.
I wasn't involved in that intro too much, so I'm not sure.
I didn't hear a thing. I was waiting to hear myself.
Is that what you're waiting for, to hear yourself?
I was waiting to see what I said.
It's only me. He only did me. He likes me the best out of the three of us.
We know who's the star of the show. We know.
Couldn't we finish that with, like, Blake's massive laugh after he did the Collingwood podcast joke?
Yeah, that one joke that I did. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
It's like a big witch's laugh.
One a season, fellas.
Wow. Take that back. You've been funny this year.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
You were funny. It was about 3 episodes ago. Someone said, "Oh, Blake was funny this episode."
Yeah,
I've been working on my stand-up routine.
No. I think you'd come from an afternoon with Byron, and I think you were.
He had a few big heads under his belt.
Yeah, I think he had his big head under your belt.
What did Byron from Burleigh Brewing Co. send you this week?
I've still got a couple of big heads left.
No. What did he send you to drink during the show?
And then the fig jam.
What are you drinking during the show?
No, I got a cup of tea today. I've got a cup of tea.
So Byron just gave you tea back.
Yeah.
It's a Byron tea bag.
It's beautiful.
Hey,
It's
Blake,
actually peppermint tea.
Here's a Byron tea bag. Enjoy. What an unbelievable card we have at Caulfield this week. Who knows what's going to happen in Sydney, if we're going to see it go ahead, if we're going to see it moved. We have had I've kind of been on a call for the last hour. We've had no updates on anything. I know they're not doing the trials at Warwick Farm tomorrow, but that's all I've heard. Anything?
I think it looks positive currently. They said that rain was easing Friday afternoon and it wasn't likely on Saturday at Randwick anyway. So
it's going to hammer on Saturday.
Mate, I've got to say, I was in Petersham applying some sunblock, and I got a call from my brother.
To who?
To
Peter.
To myself.
I was in Petersham and applying some sunblock.
And, so it was sunny, not raining at all, and I spoke to my brother on the phone, and he said, hardest it was ever raining he'd ever seen his whole life in the CBD. So it's there's pockets, and it's coming down heavy sometimes and not others, and I don't know. I think it looks promising, but do they risk it before the Everest?
Yeah.
I think the answer
Saturday
is no.
looks. It would have to be. It would be a miracle on Saturday for them. 40 to 80 mils.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. I've
got 40 to 50 mils. 100%.
On Saturday.
100% it's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah, but it might miss Randwick, so we'll just see what happens.
I've done the weather for Randwick.
What?
Yeah,
I tell you what, I
typed in Randy Wicks. See how you've been here before. And
hello.
It was wet and it was heavy.
Well, all I can say is just call it it's a moral that it'll rain on the weekend, and then that'll jinx it, and we'll be sweet.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's right. What about Caulfield? What about Caulfield? Are you going to be wet track up there? There's a bit of rain predicted around there.
Well, it's going to be sunny Saturday, though.
Yeah, they'll cop. I've got them.
Today and tomorrow they get a bit, I think.
Yeah, they get 10 to 15 mils tomorrow, but it's going to be 20 degrees, a bit of wind around, so it shouldn't leave too much on the surface. We're thinking. I reckon we might be on a good fall.
Oh, I wouldn't think so. Not if they've got 10 to 15.
10 to 15 is not much.
It's enough to tip it into the slow track.
Soft
Melbourne.
That's
they get 10 to 15. They get 10 to 15 for breakfast and just get on with their day.
Oh yeah, because it's so hot in Melbourne all the time.
It's 20 degrees there.
We actually should keep count of like what we tip in the track conditions, because I reckon you are awful at it, Sam.
Yeah, you suck.
At least have a go, right. Pat.
I love a good pile-on.
Oh, you know what? That's not true. I get it right more than you.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's start right now. We'll say...
I'm saying a 5 at Caulfield. What are you saying?
5 at Caulfield.
I'll say 6.
I would say a 6 too.
Nah, Pat said that. You got to go something else.
No, I'm not going something else. I'm saying a 6.
Okay. I like this, actually.
I knew you'd copy me.
What about Randwick?
Off. ABN.
I'm saying
Newcastle.
Racing on a 10. Racing on a 10.
I'll say 11.
Well, I'll have to go 9.
No, it's not
That's
happening.
hoping for a track upgrade.
It is not happening in Sydney. So what they've got, I saw a lot of people kind of saying, there's no meeting at Newcastle or Central Coast or anything like that. But I think Gosford's going to cop about the same amount of rain. I think Newcastle's about 30 mils and expecting a big thunderstorm that afternoon. So I'm not really sure what else would be the options. Do they just try and maybe move it to a Monday or a Tuesday, or what usually happens?
I think Monday they'd go to.
Okay.
They could run them at Petersham. No, stitch up. Did you see Canterbury yesterday? It was an absolute shock.
It was awful. It was awful. They called Gosford off today, so it's not going to run anywhere up there. The only track would be Newcastle, but I don't know what rain is predicted there.
I reckon there'd be
30
plenty
mils.
of scratching if it moves up to Newcastle.
Yeah, it won't happen. Bring it up to Gold Coast. Put Callow on all the faves. Callow's still racing. What's he doing?
End of November is his hearing for whether he gets suspended or not.
We love you, Callow. Hey, let's head down to this. Let's just get stuck right into this Caulfield meeting. It is absolutely mouth-watering, completely stacked. The rails in true position. We will be racing on a good 4, maybe. But look, we kick off with the Might and Power Stakes. We've got a Mini Cox plate right in front of us. The Mackay Diva and the Underwood Stakes allowed all of these horses to get a good measure of each other, or most of them, with Thunderstruck chasing down AB in a very thrilling finish, and then AB turning the tables and pulling their pants down in the Underwood. But something missing in those races that isn't in this one. It's the good horse. Animo enters the chat. BJ, lead us up here. Does Animo just sit back, smoke the pipe, and get him here?
Yeah, I got my blue leg up hat on today. I think he'll win. It was a bunch finish with Zaki and on Thunderstruck and Alligator Blood. Alligator Blood got his own way in front. Zaki was 1,300 metres to 1,800 metres, so we can be a little bit 1,400 metres to 1,800 metres. And that first up run was on a heavy track, so I don't think he would have got the fitness he needed for that 1,800 metres second up. So we can be a bit forgiving of him, but Animo is on an upward spiral. There's not too much I can say about him. He's a weight for age star of Australia, and I think he'll be winning. Patrick?
Here comes the blood now.
Oh, here he goes, Paddy.
The outside stormed up.
Sure, Pat, obviously we know where you're heading, but surely the jockeys won't allow Alligator Blood to dictate the race like they basically have the last 2 starts. He did in the Mackay, even though he got chased down, but surely.
Firstly, I'll say, Woodhead, brilliant intro. That's one of the best intros I've ever heard you do for a race.
Bit of time up my sleeve last night. I stayed back at work very late last night, and I thought, before I go home, I've missed all the kids and everything, I'll do a bit of prep.
Mate, he was that happy with his intro, so he's fallen off his chair.
What happened?
He's pat himself on the back that hard that he's fallen off his chair. He's knocked the microphone over and everything.
Am I
We
gone?
lost you, Sam. Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
lost you.
In the recording, they'll be able to hear me, but you guys just keep going.
Okay, boys. Well, look, Alligator Blood obviously goes on top for me. Steps up an extra 200 metres in distance. You did say about who they won't let him lead that easily this time. Well, it's going to be a kamikaze experience for whoever tries and takes him on, because he'll definitely be leading. So I think he'll just run him along again like he did last start in the Underwood, and will be too big, too fast, too strong. Here comes the blood.
I reckon Jay Carr will be aggressive on Zaki. I think she'll want to take control. She'll want to lead him.
But and risk firing it up. Zaki's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit of an enigma, Zaki, so you don't know which Zaki's going to turn up sometimes.
The myth.
So will they risk it?
Glad I reconnected
I think they'll be aggressive on him, because I think they weren't aggressive on him the other day because of him being second up at 1,800 metres. But I think probably they will at least put plenty of pressure on Alligator Blood and turn it into a real 2,000 metre staying test.
I think the blood will love that. It's big heart pounding.
We'll find out.
Heart pounding. He's there. He wins.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back, big fella.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be this is a absolutely great race. You know, I've got to talk about prep and intros. I've got a stat.
What's your stat?
If Animo salutes here, he'll be the first Caulfield Guineas winner to come back the next year and win the Might and Power since Lonhro.
Oh,
That's all right,
be a
isn't
good
it?
horse. Yeah.
Well, this is the inaugural running of the Might and Power, because it was previously called the
Caulfield Stakes. Lucky Blake's here to
yes.
correct it.
I'll tell you what, though, the great thing about this race is that there's so many good horses in it that people have such strong opinions about, and obviously someone's going to be right, but there's the Zaki fans, there's the Animo fans, there's the Blood fans, there's the nonconformist fans.
Where are they? They're over there with the Zaki fans.
I think I'm Thunderstruck is probably the value in the race, given how much the market loved him last start, and he was never in the race. He was out the back and he had way too much to do. He SP'd $2.10, started favourite in that Underwood Stakes, and he didn't do too much wrong. And now you're getting $6 about him, and you're getting $6 about Alligator Blood. I know Alligator Blood.
Did you?
But Alligator Blood SP'd $8 there.
Did you graze your elbow jumping off the I'm Thunderstruck bandwagon?
Well, I haven't really jumped off the bandwagon because Animo's fresh blood. It's not.
Oh, fresh blood. Well, I got alligator blood.
Pumping through his veins. He's frozen.
Who's frozen?
You can never tell with Blake. We just thought he wasn't laughing at our joke, but I actually think he's legitimately frozen.
It's not frozen.
It's the hatred of the blood. The hatred of the blood
I don't know why you have an obsession with him.
But what a great horse to have an obsession with. It brained him last start.
We've been on him since the start, BJ.
Trotted and cantered. One.
What were we saying? Baguettes, champagne, and weight frame racing.
It's trotted, cantered.
Trotted, cantered, one.
Yeah, that's it.
Mate,
it's going to be.
You are pumping out a bumper sticker every show.
Oh, yeah, it's the
Trotted, cantered, one. Yeah,
Trotted, cantered,
that's all
one.
he did.
That's all he needed to do. It's going to be interesting this week. Fourth up again. Won the Stratty fourth up.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait for it, and I think a lot of people, as you said, Paddy, a lot of people have their opinions and a lot of fans for the horse in this race. So I can't wait. But yeah, Animo's a big danger. I think I'll have a bet on AB and maybe a little quinella on Animo and Alligator Blood. But it's I can't wait regardless. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So let's head to the Caulfield Guineas. The boys step out at 1,600 metres. Speaking of Animo, I think it won. Yeah, we just said that. Won this race last year. And Paddy, I've got a question for you. This and the 1,000 Guineas brings out kind of the best of our current crop of 3-year-olds. How do you think the current crop rates compared to the last few years? Obviously, Animo last year, out of the class, things like that. Where does this kind of...
Well, it's tough to judge because we lost Act Cabin in this race and it really could have come out and stamped its mark on the 3-year-olds.
It was surely a standout compared to the rest of them. I suppose if you...
This year,
but sorry to jump in, but we've also lost Jacquino out of this race.
I was going to say, give me till after the Everest, and then we'll be able to compare. Got to give a good comparison actually to the previous years, because what happens if Jacquino comes out and wins the Everest?
Far out.
He's going to prove a very good horse regardless of what happens in the Everest. Jacquino, if he can run top 4 in the Everest, it'd be a huge achievement.
Well, that's true. What price would it have been in this race? If it didn't get the slot in the Everest, it would be. It would definitely be starting as one of the favourites.
Well, he would have started favourite for sure. Look, you've got Golden Mile, $2.60 favourite, and he was a lot better in the run home than him, fresh into that Golden Rose. So you'd have to be thinking he'd be starting about that price, and Golden Mile would be double that quote.
So yeah, tough to tell, but. Soon it'll all unfold. Give us a fortnight.
Paddy, who you got in this one?
Mate, I have... I thought I was looking for value when I was doing the form, and I landed on... I thought Golden Mile would be a tad shorter than that $2.80, but I can imagine a lot of people piling into it. I've got Berkeley Square on top. I think its prep has been wonderful leading into this. It's been unlucky a few times and still found a way to win. Beat a lot of horses that are running in this race in what proves to be a pretty tough affair here. That win last start where it was just in strife the whole way down the Flemington Straight was so impressive. I couldn't help but think that if it does get clear running in this race, that it'll be very good. And, reminds me a bit of a Jacquino heading to this race where it could just end up getting to the outside, get good cover coming into the race, get to the outside and just really unleash and put this field away. So Berkeley Square for me.
Best price across all the markets is, obviously, they got it at $5.60. I think it opened about $6.50, and most of them have it about
$5.
Yeah, well, most of them have it at about $5 now, so it's $6.50 into $5. Yeah, but Boom Bet, you can still get that $5.60 price, so that's very important to know. Willow on board, be nice. Berkeley Square. What about you, BJ? Who are you liking?
Berkeley Square was a good winner the other day. Like as Pat said, he was held up and he probably had no right to win it. It was a bunch finish, and I did think he was a little bit soft on the line there, but he's been a month into this. I have no reason to think that. I reckon they'll press the button on Berkeley Square. I reckon they'll probably put him into the race and go forward on him. But I think Golden Mile's the one to beat. He was outstanding, winning over 1,400 metres second up. And then he stayed at 1,400 metres in the Golden Rose, and I think they rode him upside down there. He sat outside the leader, did plenty of work from a double-figure draw to find outside lead. I think they definitely will be taking a sit on him, finding cover, and he's got a really big finish on him. He was soft on the line in that fast-run Golden Mile, but I think that's because he did face the breeze and he didn't have anything to chase. I think he half wanted to look about when he got to the front. And they were too good for him late. But I think taking a sit here up to a mile, I reckon the mile is actually going to suit him, and I think he'll be too strong. That's the form. The Golden Rose form's the form. That's the one.
Definitely.
Like if they get a dry track, Milan was good behind Golden Mile in that Golden Rose. He didn't have much room, and he kept finding the line. But listening to Peter Moody on his podcast this week, if they get a soft 5, soft 6, they'll scratch him. So. Got to be with Golden Mile, but if we do get that, if we do land that good 4 that you're predicting, Sam, Milan would be a big chance.
But what about Golden Mile? Does have the name to win a race like this, doesn't it?
He does. The Golden
Mile. A lot of confidence in a name like that early in the piece.
Yeah,
let's call it Golden Mile.
So he's named after King's Cross.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's breeding, but the Golden Mile, that's what they used to refer to King's Cross as.
So Boom Bet, they opened this one up at $3.30. They're currently offering $2.65 for it. So there is a good price. There is slightly better available, but big push on this horse. I've had a small ticket with Osipenko being the last half of a little futures double, but that was before the prelude and where it just stunk, so hoping...
Well, don't worry about that. Osipenko could be the big improver. I'd be completely forgiving of that run in the
100%.
Pro year. That was terrible conditions, and he was first up over 1,400 metres there, and he struck that terrible track. You'd want to be forgiving of all of those. Just put a pen through that. Just put a pen through that, and he could bounce back.
Looked like a bloody tornado hit the track.
Good price too. Like it's come in. I think earlier in the day, Osipenko was the market mover. They had it out at some stage to about $26, and it's now into $18. But I tell you what, I will be sitting back and I'll be cheering on Golden Mile with you, BJ, because Nick, who works with us, is holding a beautiful ticket on it, 101 to 1.
Oh, that's a good effort, isn't it?
And he's had a pretty good bet on it too. So good luck, Nicky boy. That'd be
he's got a ticket on it at $101, Pat. I think that's what Sam was referring to.
What happened?
You just go offline when you get too excited.
Oh, sorry, boys. I don't know what's going on.
No more screaming.
That's hard. That's hard. No, I need to start doing this from home. I don't know what's going on with the internet at the warehouse. You know why? It's bloody raining up here on the Gold Coast, Pat. You know they turn the internet off when the rain comes.
Oh, I do know they do that. It's
Not the Johnston Google in View Boulevard.
You are still at 29%. So,
Oh, well, I don't keep cutting out every 5 minutes, do I?
last week you did.
Tell Kayla to go out and wind the coffee grinder. It's need more power to the house.
Is Sam's video about 30 seconds behind him for you, Pat, as well?
I don't know. Sometimes he just talks slow. He does those. It's like
that's me.
It's almost like you're watching those old kung fu movies.
It's like he's in fast forwarding stages.
Yeah.
One day, when sponsors start, and speaking of sponsors, fantastic sponsor of the show, Bet, coming on board and always looking after us. But one day, we're going to need to fly you up, Pat.
Oh, he's right.
He's saying we're going to have an office in the near future.
Me and Blake. Anyway, we'll keep going. I'll wait till I kick back on board.
Tip a few winners. I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah. I think he was trying to say something like that. Woodhead, you froze again when you said...
Am I back?
I'll just say this. And then you just went completely out.
Am I back?
Yeah,
you're back.
Okay.
But we filled the punters in, so let's
appreciate it, boys. Appreciate it, boys. Let's move on to the Toorak Handicap. So I wish I win is currently at $2.60. Gentleman Roy. Sorry, let's get... This hasn't updated. Give me 1 second, fellas. The internet's not really. So, Tuvalu, $2.60 for I wish I win. Tuvalu, Gentleman Roy at $8.10 and $8.60. Military Experts drifted out a little bit to $9.60. Pinstriped $11.80. Uncle Bryn $16. The rest $20 or more. Paddy, I'm gonna start with you here. Who are you liking for the Toorak Handicap?
Well, the horse in this I like is I Wish I Win. I thought it'd actually start even money in this race. It's been that impressive its last few starts. I cannot believe it's just hit the ground running since it's got to Australia. The mile it went over at Group 1 level at Trentham back in March, it was impressive, and it was unlucky not to win that race, but I could never have predicted how good it would go when it hit the ground running here, and it has just been fantastic in, winning without luck and just unleashing a devastating sprint at the end of its races. So it's off to the Cox Plate, it looks like, and I think it'll be demolishing this field on the weekend.
Even money, Pat, I actually think that you'll probably get close to $3 about him. I think he's a very good horse, and as you said, he was very good winning at Sandown last start. He was held up until inside that 300-metre mark, and he did a terrific job from where he was to win relatively soft on the line. But this is a step up in class. I think these horses are pretty smart. I thought Military Expert was a good thing on that same day at Sandown. I just don't think it worked out all that well for him. I think he's better turning around to tight bend, as we saw previously at Moonee Valley. He booted off that corner, and he ran a really good time there. And then I think probably getting back to 1,500 metres as well was slightly against him. He sat outside Gentleman Roy there, and when they straightened up, Gentleman Roy quickened really nicely. And this bloke, he sort of just wanted to duck back in behind Gentleman Roy. But then when he knuckled down late, he was probably strongest on the line. I think getting back to 1,600 metres, I reckon Kari is going to be really aggressive on him, and she will want to find the fence on him. And if she does, I think Military Expert is the one to beat. Good value there too, BJ. Yeah, $11. I have him marked half that. I have him marked around $5. I think he's right in the race with I Wish I Win.
Very good. Very good. I'm liking Military Expert as well. Blake.
Good.
I'll have the bet now.
Bit of confidence.
Usually I see what you guys have to say before I put my money anywhere, because obviously I trust you guys more than myself.
You've got to take something different.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, it's like the track rating.
Uncle Bryn.
What do you
just got to choose one.
Yeah, you just got to choose one.
Just got to choose one. Throw them at the wall. What sticks wins.
It's on the big backup, isn't it? I won't ask you what questions.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've just pulled that out of the out of the ether, that one.
Why would you think that?
That you'd know.
No, Neesham's fine. I like Military Expert, and no, it's not on the quick. No, it had back-to-back runs, I think, last month at some stage. But yeah, Uncle Bryn, I think our Melbourne analyst, he's a big fan of that horse, and I think he's just. I don't think they've found each other yet. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes in this race as well. So that'll be one to look forward to. So we'll do this Sydney race. Obviously, everyone will want to know what we're liking in the Silver Eagle. I'm hoping we see this run and won somewhere on Saturday. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is the top three go into the Golden Eagle? Is that how this works, this race?
I think it's the top four.
Okay. Yeah, so hopefully we see it on Saturday. But if not, as long as we get to see it somewhere. So, Blake, I'm going to start with you on this one. Who are you liking for the Silver Eagle?
Good race.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of chances. I think it's a really open race. I missed Mozart at the top of the market, but I can't get him as short as the market has him. What price? $3.75 with Boom Bet.
Yeah, they're offering the best price on that as well, guys.
He's a good horse, very good horse. I thought he was outstanding first up. He just not much worked out for him. I think he was 3 deep without cover, but I just can't get him that short. The horses that I think I've marked shorter than their current quote are Kiss Some. He's a really nice horse. He's been trialling super. I reckon he's going to be ready to fire first up, given the fact that he was given a rev up in his latest trial. Career peak prior to his spell, that was at Eagle Farm over a mile. He's handled it wet before. I think the current quote of him, $14.80, that's a little bit of value. Brigantine, I thought he was outstanding first up, winning off 322 days between runs. That was a career peak. He's back in good order. That was on a soft 7 surface, so he hasn't had too much exposure to really heavy surfaces, so we're unknown there, but I think he's back in really good order, and 1,300 metres poses absolutely no problems. And then down to Lock Eagle, that was a ridiculous win in the midweeks first up at Canterbury. He came from an impossible position, Dylan Gibbons in the saddle, and he just got over the top of them like a really good horse. I reckon he's back in good order. He handles it wet. He's probably not at his best on wet, but I could get him a little bit shorter than the 12.20 currently on offer.
Yeah, as you said, the
Brilliant
choices there. Liking a lot of them. Liking the prices next to a lot of them as well, especially Kiss Some. That was a champion horse for the members, if you remember, in the 4 Pillars.
Yeah, he won the 4 Pillars. He won the 4 Pillars.
I think you put it out at about $26 as a futures bet. God, that was...
that was something for the battlers.
Well, that was, you know what, Blake? That was beautiful. I love that. That was really good. Yeah, it's run on a heavy 10. It's run well on a heavy 10, Kiss Some, in the, I think it was the provincial final. So
yeah, provincial championships final. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he should have won. He should have won that.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was only beating the neck. So it was. If we do see it run on Saturday on this heavy track, it's look out. What about you, Paddy? Where are you? What are you liking in the Silver Eagle?
Oh, I'm with Blake. I think it is a very open race, so I've gone for a bit of value here. I think Waterford. I reckon this looks like a Chris Waller sneaky special all over, where he's got the lightly race Irish horse going into this. It's
you know what that means? What's that's got the best price on it? $8.10.
$8.10. Yeah. Well, it has just cantered up to them in a couple of starts here and run right by them. And I know it's been in fields that aren't up to this class, but it looks like it could be anything Waterford. And I think it's a sneaky one that Chris Wallace sort of got by under the radar and gets into this lightly race. Big step up in class, jumps from the wide barrier. So there's a few negatives about it, but I think it'll go back and it'll be unleashing that devastating sprint down the middle. I just hope Mr. Mozart and Lavish Girl just run them along and it'll sit off the back of that hot pace and flash down the outside past them, I'm hoping. I also think...
Tommy's in form, just on that. He's definitely picked back. We spoke about it a couple of times on the show. He's definitely found his form at the right time of the year, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think this horse looks like it's still learning as well. So even if it does put it all together, it can really give this a massive shake. Villana too, coming out of that coming out of that Stradbroke. It's trialled impressively. I think it probably can sit off the back of Mr. Mozart and Lavish Girl and run well as well. And I think the $11 about it's probably something that I'll be taking on the weekend too.
It draws well, and if it can punch out, like you said, Mr. Mozart's got to get a cross from 18, and
from 18, Lavish Girl will be picking up too.
I don't think draws are all that. Like, if we are on the track that we're going to be expecting, they're going to be getting wide anyway. So, I don't think draws are too much to worry about.
Too much to worry about. What?
Just they're not as important this weekend.
How? Just because of the track conditions itself?
They might be
just because of the track conditions
coming
itself.
down at 6s and 7s.
So you don't want to be I think probably the fence is going to chop up at some stage. So you're going to want to be getting off the fence.
Will we race 8? Will be 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon? It'll be.
Might see a bit of
a slop.
A bit of the thinking over.
If they go around, it will be very wet.
Think it over, coming down the outside fence.
But they every consideration that they be taking this weekend on whether they run it or not would involve the Everest next week, wouldn't it?
Well, it can't. They can only call it off if it's dangerous. So it can't be. We're going to call it off to preserve it. They can only call it off if they actually cannot race them.
That's definitely true. Definitely true.
So they're saying the rail, BJ, it's out 8 metres, 1,000 metres to the winning post, and it's 4 metres the remainder.
Well, they're still going to be preserving because the rail will go back to the true position for Everest. So they've got 8 metres of clean track. It's just probably going to mean that if when they do get to Everest Day, that you're probably going to want to be within 8 horses from the rail anyway, which is probably around 3 to 7 usually is where you want to be from the fence anyway. So they'll find the right spot on Everest Day.
You got an Everest tip for us early, BJ?
Give us one.
Nature Strip. If he's at his best.
Outside the strip. Let's throw me an outsider.
No, Nature Strip will win.
I think Nature Strip will win, but I'm having $1 on Masked Crusader as well.
Masked Crusader I think Pike is riding really poorly at the moment, and he probably cost the horse the race the other day. He's just not putting horses into winning positions a lot of the time at the moment. So couldn't back him on anything at the moment.
I love it how you call it as you see it, BJ. I like that. He's not on at the moment.
He's not. The horse should have won the other day.
Oh, he just went back to the inferior ground.
What in the was it the Premier?
Was it the Premier?
Shorts?
Yeah, the Premier. No, it was the Premier, wasn't it? The Shorts was the one with all the big guns.
Yeah. The Premier was Lost and Running, Marzu, and
he should have won.
And Masked Crusader.
What do you think? What cost him going back to the inside? Yeah.
Well, he was very negative on him, which is the case with that horse. That's fine, but he got held up at the top of the straight, and then he went back to the worst going, and he was really strong on the line. Like, I think if he gets to the outside, he had a chance to get Lost and Running's back, but he decided to duck back to the fence. If he gets Lost and Running's back and that horse takes him into the race, that horse didn't put him away either. So he could have got his back and got over the top of him in the last few strides. I think that decision cost the horse the race.
So did you say he went out or in?
In.
He went in.
But he should have went out.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's just not thinking for mine. You've got a chance to get the favourites back, and that horse is more than likely going to take you into the race. You do it. That's
you're right, mate. Why he's got to start using his brain?
Agreed.
But do you remember when we interviewed him? He says he kind of lets the horse do the work, and then if he needs to or he finds that slot, he goes for it. If he thinks the horse can take it. It was very, I don't know if the words it's lackadaisical. It's very relaxed. Which
it's a different class of jockey in Sydney.
Yeah, I think that was the point I was trying to get at, is that he might not be able to be that relaxed here, Beach.
It's different class. You've got J-Mac and and the rest of them, and you just can't get away with mistakes in Sydney.
Yeah, I guess you got these guys riding at an extremely high level all the time. And it's like you said, you don't get away with bad decisions. And that's I guess you made the comment about Tommy Berry a couple of months ago as well, and he's flipped it over, so...
And speaking of Tommy, he's not going to be there every day. He's electing to go down south.
Yeah, that's right.
For the better rides, and I'm surprised
I don't think he has a Caulfield Cup ride. I don't think he has a Everest ride, sorry.
No, he doesn't have an Everest ride, but do you think... He had Art Cadeau in the Cossie, and he's been with that horse every start in the town. And then, I'm sure...
Yeah, but
the trainers
who wants to win a Kosciuszko? Like, I know we want to win a Kosciuszko, but he's won a
couple of weeks ago,
Kosciuszko.
we wouldn't have said that.
He's never won a Caulfield Cup.
No, I agree, but I reckon. Do you think there was a conversation with the Hawks team and Tommy to say, do you want to have this ride on Masked Crusader? Because you're right, like Pikey hasn't had a result on it. Tommy has had success on it. Do you think that was there or no?
Oh, probably not. I think Team Hawks are pretty happy with Pikey at the moment. He can ride light. That's Pikey's the big thing that allows Pikey to get plenty of rides. He can ride very light. Not that he's going to have to ride Masked Crusader light in the Everest, but it's advantage him for these big handicap races because the big stables like to turn to a bloke like him. He's the right sort of bloke to have him on him at 53, 52 kilos. I'm not sure if he can ride 52, but he can ride 53. So not many jocks can ride that sort of weight that are in his class.
Okay. Well, hopefully it pans out for Tommy. And Pat, if you have a small ticket on Masked Crusader, I hope it pans out for you. I just want everyone to win. It's a good way to be.
Get on members only then.
And
BJ, before you, I know you're quite humble about it, but it's or modest, sorry, but you've had a great week, fantastic.
We're going
week.
okay.
Yeah, the three best of the day bets get up. We did have a winner on what day is it? Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry, the winner on Wednesday. It's we had a tough old Saturday. We had a tough old Saturday, and I tell you what, you picked it up. And do you think now are you able to do? Are you able to get into these races a little bit more now that we've got Nick on board and he's taking over a lot of the content stuff?
It's allowing me to stay more on top of it. Not that we weren't before. Like we're just sort of getting into a groove. I don't think it makes any difference to me doing the form or anything like that. But it's going to allow me to get out more content for members only in the future.
Yeah.
We're finding a few winners, which is good. We've got 875 members now, which speaks for the product. I think it's a really good product. And if you were following us since inception, I think you'd be in front by about 7,000 at the moment if you were a $10 punter.
$10 units.
So,
you made an interesting post, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot there, and I'm not sure if you're. I'm happy to draw the curtain back a bit on members, and that's why I asked you that question and put you on the spot. But the fact that we have got this next uptick of members allowed us to bring on staff, which means that if you are a member listening and you want to get your mates on board, get them on board. If you aren't a member now and you want to get on board because it allows us to offer more. We put all the money straight back into members. We pay the staff, and that's it. Like subscriptions, it's a very, very simple business. The more members we have, the more successful we can actually be. And Blake, you did put something in there and about locking in your losses. Can you just go through that with us in regards to where we were at a certain point last month and then how you finished off for a really strong finish in September?
Oh, yeah, but that's pretty simple. I was just saying that you don't want to be a short, like you want to be in it for the long game, because the people that started the month with us last month and didn't finish with us, I think with 7 days remaining last month, we were behind by maybe 40 units. So those people that unsubscribed at that time, they locked in those losses, and the people that stuck it out, they ended up plus 75 or 80 units. So it was a 120 unit swing in the last week, which the people that unsubscribed missed out on.
That's fantastic. I can't believe it. And that, I think, as much as you say it's fairly simple, it isn't. For a lot of punters, it isn't. You know, if you have discipline,
it's not easy. It's not easy. I would say that it's not easy to.
Yeah, and that's not what I meant. I didn't mean that you were saying it like that. I didn't mean you were saying like that.
But I'm saying the long game. If you follow our staking plan, like minus 39 units is nothing. It's probably about 20% of your hunting stack. So it's not difficult to get it back.
That's Foxfighter in the last on Saturday, isn't it? I think I'm missing. Anyway, I think I've disconnected or I've frozen at the moment. So I'll come back in. Boys, have you got me?
I got you, mate.
We got you now.
Okay, great. So yeah, members only, absolutely flying. Well done, BJ. I'll tell you what is flying.
The merch.
Merch. Yeah, the merch is great.
Flying. We had a lot of orders last week, so if you haven't got your merch, get involved. Big thanks to our sponsors, Boombet. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, BJ. Looking forward to a big weekend of racing, and good luck this weekend, punters.
Cheers, boys. Let's get at it.
Thanks, guys.